production increase of 33% of premium zircon, followed by an increase of our sales volumes of 34%. We will be presenting our financial results on September 13th, so we expect these volume of the operations results to be followed by very strong financial results as well.
Hello and welcome to the Assay TV, where today I'm delighted to be joined by Oliver Hasler, who is the Chairman and CEO of PYX Resources. PYX Resources is a major sustainable global producer of premium zircon, with their major deposits being the Tisma and Mandiri deposits, both located in the central region of Kalimantan, Indonesia. Okay, so welcome Oliver. It's been quite some time since we last caught up.
Hi Katie, very good to see you again.
Okay, so just for those that aren't familiar, can you give us a reintroduction to PYX Resources and its main operations?
Sure. As you know, we're a mineral sands mining company listed since 2020 in Australia and dual listed since November 2021, also on the main market of the London Stock Exchange. We have two large projects. One is Mandiri, which is in production since 2015, and we acquired a second deposit called Tisma in 2021, which is not in production yet. We have very large resources with 10.5 million tons of inferred resources, which makes us the third largest mineral sands or zircon resource in production.
Great, thank you for that. And let's just jump right into some of PYX's news flow, because there's been plenty recently, particularly regarding some export licenses for Ilmenite and Rutile. Can you expand on that for us a bit, please?
Sure. As you mentioned, it has been a very important year for licenses. At the beginning of the year, we announced that we had received the renewal of the license for our Tisma project for the next 10 years. So Tisma is not in production yet, but this gives us the potential to accelerate our project in the future. Also, last month, the Indonesian government took the decision and changed the regulation of something we have been working on with them for a long time, adding titanium oxide into the category of non-metal, so in the same category than zircon, also allowing the exports with a grade of higher than 90% for rutile and higher than 45% for ilmenite, which will allow us to export titanium feedstock in the future. As a result of that, we received the license from the Trade Department to start the export. So this is the specific license for Mandiri. So now we can export 24,000 tons per year of zircon, 20,000 tons of rutile, and 50,000 tons of ilmenite. So we expect over the next couple of weeks to start the production and export of these materials, which, as you know, we have been stockpiling ilmenite and rutile. We have over 8.3 thousand tons in inventory at no cost, since we have been absorbing all the cost in zircon. So we will be selling this at 100% margin. And we also received a new operation and budget license for Tisma for the year 2023, allowing us to extract and to produce 48,000 tons of zircon. So with this, we show that we have a very stable business in Indonesia and Kalimantan, built on a basis of very strong licenses. We have received the license, relicensed, and expanded the license since we took control over the tenements some years ago.
Excellent. And just for those who are unfamiliar, what is the significance of titanium feedstock?
It's a very important mineral. 90% of titanium oxide is used for the pigmentation industry. Then there's a big amount of the rest using for welding rods. And then obviously it's also used as a mineral to produce titanium oxide for the airplane and aeronautic industry.
Wonderful. So let's move on to some more news flow, which were some pretty impressive operational results. Can you give us some of the highlights, please?
Sure. As stated in our 5-year plan, one of the main tasks of the group is to increase the volume, which we have done year after year. Once again, we showed a production increase of 33% of premium zircon, followed by an increase of our sales volumes of 34%. We will be presenting our financial results on September 13th, so we expect these volume of product operations results to be followed by very strong financial results as well.
Excellent. You mentioned a 5-year plan, and as we know, ESG is at the core of PYX Resources ethos. Can you tell us some of the accomplishments of the company in terms of ESG, please?
Sure. We built our entire project on a very strong sustainability base under a program called PYX Cares. I'm sure you remember that last year we joined the United Nations Global Compact Initiative, which we restated and presented our 2022 results and our 2023 commitment again in March of this year. We have continued with some interesting projects, which I like a lot. For example, we did for the 3rd time together with the Indonesian Red Cross, we did a blood donation. We're the only company in Kalimantan doing that. And I'm sure we're starting to serve as an example for other companies to follow. We make sure that we produce at international standard, and with that, we serve as an image for the region. As a result of that, the Central Kalimantan government has awarded us with 2 awards this year. One was for 0 accidents in 2022, and the other one for the management of the COVID-19 crisis. So it's always good to know that we have an impact in the region, in the local communities, but also that it is recognized by the authorities, which obviously helps us in the entire process of licensing and relicensing and working together with them.
So you've obviously established a strong relationship with the Indonesian government and long-term mining rights in Indonesia. Can you just briefly outline some of the upsides of actually operating there?
Sure, we're very happy to operate in Indonesia. It's a country that's developing very fast on a very strong and solid basis. If you look at their economy, and for example, you see the exchange rate of the local currency against the dollar, it has not changed over the last years compared to many other currencies in the world. Today, we also have not only a strong economy, we have a very stable social environment, but still a low-cost country. So we feel very good in Indonesia, especially if you see what is happening with other African countries. So I think Indonesia is in a very strong position to grow their mining businesses. They have been changing regulations, as we see now in our case with titanium dioxide. They're changing regulations constantly to make it more interesting for foreign investment to come to the country. In our particular case, Indonesia is interesting. The biggest consumer of mineral sands, in particular Zircon, Rutile, and Ilmenite, is China. And Indonesia is the biggest Belt and Road country, with that a strategic ally of China.
Right. So just as a recap and a bit of a summary, can you tell us what investors can look out for in terms of milestones in the coming months?
Well, I hope I can see the investors in our half-year 2023 results briefing. We will be announcing results on September 13th, as I mentioned before. We're still continuing. I expect us to continue with very strong volume increases following the 5-year plan, with the ultimate goal to reach 48,000 tons of zircon and the byproducts that will generate. I have mentioned before that we're in the process of connecting the mineral separation plant of Mandiri to the public electrical grid, which will drastically reduce our energy costs, allowing us to change from the gensets and consume diesel to electricity. We are projecting a cost reduction of 72%. And I think mainly it's volume increase, starting to export rutile and ilmenite, continue to reduce the cost. And continuously, strategically, I see that we have a huge opportunity to consolidating the mineral sands industry of Kalimantan. So I'm continuously looking for new opportunities and other projects in the area.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. And it certainly sounds like an exciting time for PYX, and we look forward to catching up again soon.
Thank you very much, Katie. Take care.